having people vote for our favourite Beatles songs. They're going to come at the very end, our best ever Beatles songs, because there was a dead heat, a three-way tie. But before we get there, we're going to build up by going through the Beatles' career. They had a number of albums, I think 12 over their career. And we're going to pick one song from each album as we go. So let's kick it off with this very young band who in 1962 had an audition at EMI, and they had a couple of hits in late 62, and then come 63, the Beatles management decided, hey, they're popular, we better quickly record an album. So that album was recorded in February 1963 in 10 hours. It was recorded in February and released in March. Can you believe that? And that album went incredibly well, as history shows us now. Australia didn't have album charts at the time, but it sold like mad once the name of the Beatles were carried over here from England. So we're going to kick off with a song from that album, Love Me Do. And that's in our books. It is in book 3, song number 4. And this song is going to feature Ringo, not on drums, but on harmonica. So, Ringo, fantastic. I'm just discovering in my pocket. All right, here we go. A Love Me Do. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Unreleased ending, Ross.
That was a rare recording.
That was in the Decca auditions.
We never released that version, because we felt we could do the ending a little bit better.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everyone is warmed up, because you're going to need to be for this next one. I'm going to hand you over to Paul.
Thanks. Who are you? You're John. John, I love your moustache.
Thanks, Ringo.
All right, so we're into album 2 with the Beatles, released in March 1963, November 1963. So I remember first listening to this album, Ross, in my cot in North Geelong when I was about 5 months old, and thinking, well, look, it's a bit of a disappointing follow-up to the first album. It's not bad, but, you know, I would have expected a bit more. Having said that, a lot of great tracks on it. Still went to kind of #1 everywhere. Platinum. The interesting things about the first half dozen or so albums, when it comes to what was on them and what they were called, is that in America the albums were very different. So they didn't have many of the albums we're talking about here. These are really UK and Australian albums. And it wasn't really until Sgt. Pepper that they sort of caught on and actually started just releasing the same thing. So
and there were a couple of reasons for that, and one of the reasons was that America took about a year to get onto the Beatles, you know, early '64, and so they had this back catalogue of a couple of albums worth of material that they then thought, well, let's, instead of releasing 2 records, let's release 3 or 4. Again, thinking the Beatles would be a fad that dies pretty quickly, they wanted to milk it for what it was worth.
Yeah. And you'll notice that on some of the slides we'll have a Rolling Stone ranking. So this ranking is, Rolling Stone quite often does, or periodically does, the greatest 500 albums of all time. And this is the latest one from 2020. So you can see that this album, which I would rank right down as far as Beatles albums, they ranked at 197 back in 2020. So even, you know, a couple of years ago. It's a real indication of how, you know, the Beatles are still very, you know, very relevant and very well regarded. So the song we're going to do from with the Beatles is "All My Lovin'." We're going to do the proper Beatles version versus the Johnny Young type version that we normally do.
Yeah, so Johnny Young has no role to play tonight.
No role to play.
But as you came in, I hope you picked up a copy of "All My Lovin'," the fad version.
Yeah, so this is in the handouts, not in the books. And
it's quite fast. You'll notice that there's lots of cases where we stop and it says that it's a abrupt stop. So that'll be something like this, where you try and stop your mute from ringing on. Just try and cover it up like that. The only time we let it ring on is at the very end of the song, where we hit that C chord and just let it ring forever. Okay, now it's going to be fast. We won't do it as fast as the Fabs, but we'll do it pretty fast. So if you're wearing a wig, just make sure it's on properly, okay? Here we go. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then I'm going to, on 3, 4, sing "Close Your..." 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember, I'll always be true. And then while I'm away, I'll ride home every day, and I'll send all my loving to you. I'll pretend that I'm kissing the lips I am missing, and hope that my dreams will come true. Ringo, am I looking okay?
I can't keep my glasses on, they won't go under it.
Hey, buoyed by the success of those first two albums, the Beatles machinery, i.e. the money-making machine, decided, look, these boys will last maybe a year. Let's get in real quick and capitalise on it with a film. So they whacked out all the black and white film cameras, and with a budget of about £20,000, they put together a film and told the Fabs they had to write some songs, especially for the film. And the Fabs did that, and they did it and more. The album went platinum, it went right around the world. Of course, the USA just pulled tracks here and there and milked another couple of albums, but no matter what they did, it was a success. And this is the first album where there were no songs by anyone except Lennon and McCartney, and it probably stands as the only album by only Lennon and McCartney, because later albums would have Harrison and Starkey as writers. And as Dave mentioned, Rolling Stone, they reckon this was pretty good too. Number 263 on the chart of all time. So that's up against all the good albums you know, and it'll be interesting to see what's around it in there.
And
anyway,
of course, Ross, Steptoe from Steptoe and Son featured in the film as Paul's grandfather.
Is that right?
That is right.
He did too. Hey, you know, I was going to have a go at the chord right now. What do you think? Will we do that now? Let's do the chord. So look, on the board, and it's on the sheet of paper, on one of the sheets of paper you've got, there are 6 chords listed. You don't need to know, much about them, except how to make them. Now, there's a couple of difficult chords there that need you to actually bar out the uke. Now, if you're not confident in doing that, pick a G7 or pick a C5 where you can just hold your finger at the 3rd fret like I'm doing, or pick the F add 2, which is only a couple of strings separated by 1 fret, or even the F add 9, 1 finger. It's like the C7 except put the point finger on string number 2. Now the other two, D7 sus4 and the F6 add 9, you'll need a safety net if you want to put those on. If you do want to try it, for that first one, D7 sus4, I'd bar out at 2nd fret, and then I'd use 2 fingers to pick up those other 2 strings there.
3rd fret.
3rd fret, is it? No, this one here.
Oh, that one here.
And then for the last one, F6 add 9, you could bar out at fret 3 and then play your ring finger and little finger, something like that. And you get a chord that... So I'm going to make that one so that there may be one in the room. You choose your chord. I'm going to give you all the countdown. A count. It'll be 1, 2, 3. I'm not now. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Okay. Now what we're going to try and do is create the most magical chord ever. Here we go. Have you got your chord? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa! How good was that? Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's been a hard. Hey, fantastic everyone. That's the first time that I'm aware that we've used 6 chords only on uke with a hop and a bass to create that sound.
In fact, I think it's true to say that before tonight, that chord had never been worked out.
It had never been worked out.
So,
I'm going to do a master's thesis on tonight. So, hey, look, let's get back to the album though. We're going to play a lovely song by the Beatles, a Paul song, and I Love Her. It's on the packet that you picked up when you came in tonight. And this is going to feature Ringo has been working over the summer. He used to only play drums. You've seen him on harmonica so far. He's now going to play lead uke on this one. And it's a lovely riff that George came up with in the studio. But Lennon and McCartney, true to style, didn't credit Harrison, and he got nothing from the song.
George, I left me drumsticks at home tonight, George.
All right, here we go. 1, 2. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Tonight. Give yourselves a big clap. Hey, and you know, Ringo, good job, Ringo. You know, the Beatles at this point were absolutely caught up in Beatlemania. And about that time, they came to Australia. Here's a picture taken in CBD, Melbourne. Wow. Now, I'm just amazed at this. I remember this day. I was at my uncle's place and it was on TV. Now, I've had a look at some of the pictures, and this one, these are in the National Archive, by the way. There's one here that I thought, hey, I think I recognise something. So I'm a bit of a wizard on the computer and video software. So I used lots of digital enhancements, and here's what I got. Can you recognise? So then I decided, well, there must be more. So I got the local police to have a go at it, and this is what they came up with. Now, if you squint, I reckon I recognise somebody, but I then sent it to ASIO, and this is what they came up with. And all I can say, Ian, you haven't aged a bit since that day.
That's amazing technology, Ross. That is amazing technology.
I was only 18 at that time.
You haven't not aged a bit. So, moving right along, next album came out in 1964, Beatles for Sale. Again, I think I've got the duds here tonight, Ross, so far. You've got two very good first albums. Beatles for Sale again was like the Beatles of like doing the movies, recording a lot. They were just forced to put out a lot of records, you know, in a very short amount of time. So we're into 1964. The first album came in late 1962, so they've already got 4 albums out. So again, like some good tracks on this, but again they had to delve into quite a few covers. So six of the 14 tracks back to cover versions. So you know, but they could certainly do a good cover version. Again, went to #1 everywhere, of course. Really, as Ross said, in the height of Beatlemania. The song we are doing from Beatles for Sale is one that you all know. It's 8 Days a Week. And I think we did this last week, Ross, if I'm not mistaken.
We may have.
And it is book, what is the book? Book number, I'm trying to search for it here, Ross.
I think it's 1.
It's book 1, is it?
I don't know, can someone help me? Where's Judy? Judy's online. Hey Judy, how are you? I hear you've been chasing elephants today. I hope you're okay, and I hope you're having a great time.
Time for the first person that can find this song.
And what number is 8 Days a Week, Judy?
You'll...
Is it book
130?
Book 130. Book 130.
We should all be using the same books.
I tried to ring Judy today. I tried to use a trunk call, but it wouldn't work. Sorry.
All right, here we go.
That's where some my jokes.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Costumes out there.
There's some great
Tell you
costumes
what,
out.
I can see John and Yoko just sitting at the back, just quietly protesting.
Yeah, bed peace war is over.
You've just come Just come from Amsterdam, you know.
1969. 1969.
Yeah. Hairpiece, bedpiece.
Whereas Macca, we are stuck in 1967.
We are stuck in 19... Well, our bodies are stuck in 1967 and our heads are stuck a bit earlier.
Hey, you know, the Beatles machinery kept on running. All the powers that be, the studio heads, and they just wanted to keep milking the machine. And buoyed by the success of the Hard Day's Night film, they recouped millions and millions from that pitiful outlay. They decided, okay, this time let's make another film and let's give them a big budget. And we'll give them about 50,000 and we'll give them even colour film. And so again, the Fab Four were given the job of going away and writing songs fit for the purpose, and they came up with some real cracker songs. And you know, this is the Help album, 1965. Gold, platinum, everywhere. The whole world is gripped by Beatlemania by this time. There's only a couple of covers on the album, so mainly Lennon, McCartney, and a couple of Harrison songs. The cover, Macca, that says help, doesn't it?
Well, so I would have thought.
H-E-L-P.
Hands up all the people who thought or think it spells help. Well, they can read behind me, Ross, so there's not really a fair question.
Oh, okay. It spells N-U-J-V, and they did that purely because it looked right. And this album, if for no other reason to be special, it has the song Yesterday. What a fantastic song. And right now, we're not going to do Yesterday. But if you've seen the film, there's a magnificent scene set in the Austrian Alps. And when they were making the film, it was sort of, the Beatles were given a little bit of artistic freedom, and the producers, the Beatles would get together and say, well, where do we want to go? And one of them said, well, I'd like to go to Austria. So they said to the producer, we want to go to Austria and film there. So they wrote a great snow sequence in the film. And accompanying that is a great song, Ticket to Ride.
They had some scenes in the Bahamas too, didn't they?
They did. They went to the
all
Bahamas
over the place.
and England as well.
It was the story was about a ring or something.
A ring that was for a sacrificial offering, and Ringo couldn't get it off.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right, Ian's going to kick this one off with a couple of goes of the riff before we join in. So you'll hear Ian do 2 bars of the riff, and then we're going to come in for a couple of bars with him. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm gonna be sad. I think it's today. Yeah. The girl that's driving me mad is going away.
She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride, but she don't care. My baby don't care. My baby don't care. My baby don't care.
Last time.
My baby don't care. 2, 3, 4.
Hey, good job, everyone. We've never done those songs before, and you are nailing them.
You know, Ross, I think, I mean, obviously we're doing about 7 or 8 new songs tonight. I think the next, we might find the next Boots, we might find the next Wagon Wheel by Jan. And dare I say, Ross, we may find the next Achy Breaky Heart amongst these 7 songs
No.
that just get, you know, taken into the, you know, the bosom of the YouTube.
It ain't gonna happen.
No?
Achy Breaky is up there.
Just under wagon wheel.
Just as good, yeah, touche. I totally, well, I don't.
Oh, we've got someone getting hot in the front row. They're feeling the energy from the stage, I suspect. Nothing to do with the fact that he's in a winter onesie.
I tell you what, Ross, I'm sweating more than Elvis in that 1969 comeback special, I think.
I found out these are no good for wiping the sweat off your hand. My fingers wouldn't work in that last song.
Oh, right.
And they're all wet. Normally I go like that before I start, but these things don't work. They're made out of plastic, I think.
Just use your wig.
Yeah, don't get near a fire, eh?
I used the paper out of the wig.
But the good thing is that we're already in our jammies for when we go home. All we need to do is make a Milo and we're ready for dinner.
That's a good maker.
Finally, I get a good album. Well, they're all good, come on. But I get one of the classic albums. This is where they really started to hit their straps with Rubber Soul. Come out in 66, I think. I'm looking around and 60 almost, December 65. And really seen as a big big change in the way they were putting out music. I think just their songwriting just, if it could have just actually went to another level with this album. Some just fantastic tracks like this. There's not really a bad track on it. Of course, it goes number 1 everywhere. Bit of a use of the sitar. So George was getting interested in some Indian music at the time.
And he found that Indian sitar on the set of a scene in Help.
That's right.
That's how he learned about the sitar.
And the sitar would go on to feature in quite a few Beatles songs.
And
after
many
that.
other artists.
Many other artists.
So many artists would use it.
Yeah. No Beatles on the cover. It's an interesting thing. So they were so famous by this stage, you didn't have to tell us who they are. And again, Rolling Stone, number 35 album of all time. So that's just really starting.
And you know, I want to point out the cover. See how they look sort of distorted. That came about by accident. And there were many things in the Beatles' career where things happened and they thought, well, that wouldn't be bad. So they've been to the photo shoot with Robert Freeman, the photographer, and he's come around to their home with a slide projector. And he's got a bit of cardboard and he's showing the Beatles, these are all the takes we took in the garden, you know. And just as he does the last one, the cardboard falls away and the Beatles see their faces stretch a little bit. And they say, that's it! That's the one we want! And it fit with the title Rubber Soul.
Well, it's kind of the way they recorded, wasn't it? They would be mucking around, then they'd hear a sound and say,
Yeah.
George Martin, that's what we want, and just
Yep.
brilliant like that. Okay, so we're going to be doing Norwegian Wood from Rubber Soul. Just a fantastic song.
And,
Lennon song.
Paul, is Ringo playing sitar on this?
I think he might be.
Okay.
I think he is, John.
The 4-string sitar.
The fourth string.
Oh, do you know why I didn't left my drumsticks at home?
Why is that, Sir Ringo?
I heard that someone once said to you, is Ringo the best, the best drummer in the world? And you said, Ringo's not the best drummer in the Beatles. Is that true?
I did say that, I'm sorry.
No, John.
I went out of character. Sorry, Ringo, I did say that.
I might leave the band.
Yeah. I was just looking over to Jeff Corner to get some confirmation on our terrible accents.
Yeah,
Jeff Corner is vacant.
I think we can, because Jeff's not here, we can get away with anything. Hey, listen, I just want to talk to you about the timing here. You see how we've got 4 bars of D chord. It's in 3/4, so we 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, so on. When we get into the riff, you can see the riff. You'll all know it. It's iconic. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. Well, there's actually, if you want to work out how many bars there are, there's 5 bars or measures of D, followed by 1 measure of C, followed by 2 measures of D. But you know what? My view is just go by the feel of it. Sing that line to yourself, I once had a girl, or should I say she once had me, and so on. Here we go. Are you ready, Ringo? Okay, here we go. I'm going to give 2 counts of 3, and you're not going to start, Ringo. We're all going to start first. A 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Norwegian wood. She asked me to stay and she told me to sit anywhere. So I looked around and I noticed there wasn't a chair. I sat on the rug, biding my time, drinking her wine. We talked until 2, and then she said, it's time for bed.
Here we go.
She told me she worked in the morning and started to laugh. I told her I didn't and crawled up to sleep in the bath. And when I awoke, I was alone, whispered and moaned. So I lit a fire, isn't it good, Norwegian wood.
What a great ending.
Ross, we're going to do some great songs. We've already done some really great songs. We've got more lined up.
We
some,
have.
some hits, some beautifully written songs like Norwegian Wood, and we've also got the next song.
What's the next? Well, Macca, this is one of their landmark albums, Revolver.
It is.
Well, what are you getting at?
What is this song doing on Revolver, Ross?
There were some good songs on Revolver.
Revolver.
Some awesome songs. And we're doing this
And
one.
this one. Yeah. This was a really hard album to pick a song out of. I mean, what we tried to do with picking songs out of albums, they're not necessarily the biggest hits or the best song. It was purely what we thought we could play. And on Revolver, it was just impossible to find anything.
Even the Beatles said we're not going to tour Revolver
Yeah.
because we can't reproduce it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What was the number of this song on Rolling Stone, this album?
11.
11. So the 11th best album, according to Rolling Stone people, of all time. That says a lot. Hey, out of the album, we're going to do Yellow Submarine. It's book 2, song number 20.
And Vicky, I reckon some bombs, do you think? So I'm not going to play, we're just going to do, the whole room's going to bomb this song.
And a couple of Cheerios here. Hey Robin, great to have you on board for the first time on the live stream. Fantastic. And Steve has sent a comment along. You might know that the Decca people, the recording label Decca, turned the Beatles down. And they told Brian Epstein that guitars are on the way out. So Steve's comment is, I bet the Decca executives regret saying that ukulele groups are on the way out and the Beatles have no future in our business. Good on you, Steve.
It's book 220 if you need to look at it.
All right, here we go. We kick off just in the town. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3. In the town where I was born, lived a man who sailed the sea, and he told us of his life in the land of submarines. So we sailed out to the sun until we found the sea green.
Went exactly as we rehearsed it today.
Paul, I told you we shouldn't take anything in that back room before tonight.
I didn't listen to you, John, I'm sorry.
Hey, you know what? So the Beatles are now past Beatlemania. They're really over it. They're sick and tired of it. They've just done their Revolver album that they reckon is the best album they've ever done, but they can't play it live. First of all, it's too complex, and secondly, no one would hear them. So they made the decision, we ain't going to tour ever again. Almost a year went past, and all the press was saying, those Beatle guys, they've dried up. There's been nothing from them for so long. And then one day in June, might have been June 30 even, 1967.
It was June the 1st.
June the 1st.
I was four years old that day.
Okay, there you go.
And I was quite happy with this album.
So out of the blue, really annoying the press who had just canned them, this came out. And it's their glowing masterpiece, recorded on 4 tracks. No one knows how they did it. It stands, you know, so many artists today refer back to the techniques that they see on Revolver, Sgt. Pepper, and even Rubber Soul. And this album, this is the first one where the Beatles said, enough is enough. This is an album you in America are not cutting it up and dividing it, because this is our version of a concept album. It's an imaginary band called Sgt. Pepper, and they're playing a gig. And it starts by introducing them, and then they close the show at the end and come back for one more finale. So it really is their masterpiece. It broke, you know, and it also broke up, as Maka said, they'd been churning out 2 albums a year. So no more would they do that. They weren't going to be puppets for the machinery. And it really is one of the first concept albums, although arguably Frank Sinatra had some great concept albums in the late 50s, early 60s. But this is rated number 24 by the Rolling Stone folk. Off this album, we're going to do one of our favourites at Ukes with a little help from my friends. And you can find that on Book 2, song number 29. Book 2, song number 29.
And Ross, I might also say that the Sgt. Pepper cover was an album cover that really threw a lot of people and really changed the way album cover artwork was done. A lot of work went into that, and it really did set the tone for a lot of other bands to, you know, hey, do a decent album cover. So it's a pretty iconic image.
While I think of it, George, could I have your hairdresser details, please? Because I quite like it.
And can somebody tell me what this bit of blue stuff's for? It keeps covering up the screens.
You put your shopping list on it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to count in and we'll do one strum. And Vicky is going to... which part are you singing, Vicky?
I'll sing the first bit.
The first part, and we'll chime in with the second part. How about that? So choose your sides. Let's bring the roof down. Here we go. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. What would you think if I sang out a tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me?
Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song,
And I'll try not to sing out of key.
oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends.
Yes,
I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. But what do I do when my love is away?
does it worry you to be alone?
How do I feel by the end of the day?
Are you sad because you're on your own?
No, I get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I get high with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody?
I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? I want somebody to love.
Or would you believe in our love at first sight?
Yes, I'm certain that it happens all the time.
What do you see when you turn out the lights?
I can't tell you, but I know it's right.
Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends.
Need anybody? I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? I want somebody to love. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Gonna try with a little help from my friends. Yes, I get by with a little help from my friends. Yes, I get by with a little help from my friends. A little help from my friends. Hey, that really got me by, I'll tell you that. Thank you, friends.
And that's 2 Ringo songs in a row, Ross. Ringo well represented.
Ringo is extremely well
I think
represented.
George yet to have a song. Maybe later.
Poor old George.
All right. Yellow Sub is an interesting album that came out a little while after Jan 69, is that right?
Yeah, Jan 69.
Jan 69, so quite a while after, hang on, wow.
Yeah, well, it's actually controversial which came first. If you look at the historian, you'll find that the White Album came before this one. And yet, if you read the cover of this one, it refers to the new Beatles album being the White Album.
Yeah.
So
all right,
it could go either.
Let's go with Yellow Sub. So, Yellow Submarine was an animated film that obviously the Beatles had some role in. Obviously, they allowed it to go ahead, but they actually took very little part.
Not interested.
Not really interested, but obviously they would have needed to give the go ahead in some way. But they don't voice. It's not their voices on the film. Any of their songs that they wrote on side one in the film? I don't know if they are.
Yeah, they're mainly all in the film. Yeah, but in fact, they're all.
And side two is just a lot of the score of the film that George Martin arranged. So really a bit of a funny album. No real hits off it. Yellow Submarine had already been released quite a few years earlier on in Revolver. So we're not going to do Yellow Submarine again. Just a quick one. What's the your family, Darren, has a relation to the movie Yellow Submarine? There's a connection there.
There's a little bit of a connection.
Yeah, what you want to tell us what it is?
So my brother's in a band called the Meanies, which is they've lifted the name from the bad guy in the Yellow Submarine, the Blue Meanie.
Yeah.
And my brother is the drummer, and his name is
Ringo Meanie. And the Meanies are kind of alternative rock royalty in certainly Melbourne, certainly in Australia. Like, they actually supported Foo Fighters a few years ago in one of their last gigs before Taylor Hawkins died in Geelong.
Last year in Geelong.
Was it last year or the year before?
Yeah, last year.
And they had broken up. They'd broken up a few times to reform, but very highly regarded band, and maybe one day we'll get Ringo Meanie.
Yeah, I'd love to get Ringo Meanie here.
Yeah, so we're going to do a
What
song.
song are we doing?
We're doing a song called All Together Now. It may not be a very well-known song. It's a real fun song. I predict, Ross, this could be one of the new,
You reckon?
I reckon this could be the new
Well,
Waking
you know how we always try not to speed up or slow down? I want you to forget that rule. Because in this song, once we get to the final home straight, you'll see that I've got notes there saying that as we do the choruses, the last couple of times, we start speeding up. And so we're basically going to be at Darren's mercy. Darren's going to set the pace for this one. I'm going to try and keep up with him, to be quite frank. But he gave me a little bit of advice before, and that was to not start too fast. So that'll leave a bit in the tank.
Just a show of hands, who knows this song or has heard it?
Yeah, good one. Okay. Now you might notice that there's some lyrics in italics. Halfway down the page you'll see bom, pa bom, and then not in italics, sail the ship. Why did it do that? I don't know why it did that. And you'll see that even in All Together Now, there's All Together Now, and then All Together Now not in italics. So who's leading the italics? Is that you, Mac?
That's me, John.
Okay. The rest of us will, in fact, Darren will be chirping in because he's setting the pace here.
Yeah, I might also point out, Ross, that the chords are in the square brackets. I'm just looking at the second verse, and people might be looking for
so it doesn't actually go A, B, C.
Play F and then A and then B chord and then C chord and then D chord.
Oh, yes, yes.
The chord is in the square bracket. The A,
I want to know what H
lyrics.
chord is.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right, let's go.
Darren, do you want to start us? Or?
Oh, you start with the pace you were doing this afternoon.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Can I have a little more? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I love you. A, B, C, D. Can I bring my friend to the ship, chop the tree, skip the rope. Look at me.
All together now.
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 All together now. Black, white, green, red. Can I take my friend to bed? Pink, brown, yellow, orange, and blue. I love you.
Together now.
All 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 together now. Let's go. All together now.
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 Bum, 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 bum.
Sail the ship,
Bum, bum, bum,
chop the tree,
bum, bum,
skip the rope.
bum, bum, bum.
Look at me.
All together now.
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 All together
That's a new achy breaky heart right there.
Well, just take a moment. I'm just going to let my pulse settle down there for a minute, in case someone has to call for an
I might
ambulance.
have to take this wig off. Oh my God, these suits are hot.
So let me. Okay, let's move on. So I said before. Whoops. I said before, which come first, White Album or Yellow Sub? We did Yellow Sub first, and you could argue either way. Hey, the White Album came out, and the Beatles would never stand still. Having done that grandiose cover that featured all people that they remember in their life. Some heroes, some villains.
Some
You know, there's
living, some dead.
some living, some dead. There's some photos there of people who almost made the cut. And there's one of Hitler sitting on the side, a cutout of him, that they obviously had better judgment not to go with.
There's still at least 3 people alive in there.
Is that right?
I
There
think
you go.
there's more. There's obviously Ringo and Paul. I think there's 2 others.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There may be another 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure. At least 3, I said.
Okay, so look, they decided let's not do something as grandiose, let's go back to basics. And John was about to discover Yoko. It's about the time.
Stand up, Yoko.
And, you know, Yoko was an avant-garde artist, and so it really appealed to John that, hey, let's not have colour, let's go pure white. And as a bit of a sales gimmick, each copy was numbered. Ringo apparently still has copy number 1 in his personal collection today. Now the album was unbelievably, it was a bit of a paradox actually. It was called The Beatles, self-titled, also known as the White Album, but actually called The Beatles. And yet, it's the one album of their career that you didn't have all the Beatles together on every track. And if they did play on each other's tracks, they would often do it separately, not at the same time. And so it's a little bit of a paradox there. Rated number 29 album of all time. Now you get the picture, don't you, that there's a number of albums that this band did that are still in 2020, was it?
Yeah, 2020.
Are rated by one of our leading authorities as being such important and influential albums.
You know, the disappointing thing about this album for me is in the voting. Revolution number 9 didn't vote very well at all.
It didn't get a vote, I'll tell you that now.
I thought it would have been pretty popular.
I would have too. But I tell you what, for the first time ever, with the original McCartney bass line, we're going to do Oobla-dee, Oobla-da. It's in book 4, song number 32.
The original probably McCartney piano introduction.
And the original piano, this time played by George. Yeah. Uh-oh, hang on, we got a technical issue
There's
here.
been an equipment malfunction.
When you're ready, George.
It
Oh,
is
32.
32.
Book 4, 32.
You know, had we done Revolution number 9, Ross, I think Yoko could have come up
And Scream.
and screamed.
Yeah,
Would you have been in that, Yoko?
I think she would.
She's nodding her head.
Nodding. Yeah.
Well, had we have done it, she would have been.
She would have
up
been. She
here.
would have been up here.
All right.
Yep. Desmond has his barrow in the marketplace. Molly is a singer in the band. Desmond says to Molly, "Girl, I like your face," and Molly says it's as she takes him by the hand. The dee, the da, life goes on round. La la, how the life goes on. The dee, the da, life goes on round. La la, how the life goes on. Desmond takes a trolley to the jeweler's store. Buys a 20-carat golden ring. Takes it back to Molly waiting at the door, and as she gives it to her, she begins to sing. Oh, the dee, oh, the da, life goes on round. La la, how the life goes on. Oh, the dee, oh, the da, life goes on round. La la, how the life goes on. In a couple of years, they have built a home, sweet home. With a couple of kids running in the yard of Desmond and Molly Jo. Happy ever after in the marketplace. Desmond lets the children lend a hand. Molly stays at home and does a pretty face, and in the evening she's still singing with the band. Oh, la dee, oh, la da, life goes on round. La la, how the life goes on. Oh, la dee, oh, la da, life goes on round. La la, how the life goes on. In a couple of years they have built a home, sweet home. With a couple of kids running in the yard of Desmond and Molly Jo. Happy ever after in the marketplace. Molly lets the children lend a hand. Desmond stays at home and does his pretty face, and in the evening she's a singer with the band. Oh, la dee, oh, la da, life goes on round. La la, how the life goes on. Oh, la dee, oh, la da, life goes on round. La la, how the life goes on. And if you want some fun, take a bloody da.
We were going to actually mention a chord change in that song, Ross, weren't we? And maybe not. And we will be changing that. What we should be playing is the last two Fs from Life Goes On. And if you want some fun, they're actually A minors. So yeah, we'll make a change to that next time we play it. We'll do an A minor, eh, Ross?
That's a great idea, George.
Great idea.
Paul?
George?
Whose go is it?
Whose go is it? Probably mine.
Yours.
Is it? So we coming up to my favourite album, just about of all time. This I think, like, I can't fault this album. It's a brilliant album. Just so many people have been inspired by the music, the skills in the songwriting, the excellent melodies and lyrics. Side two with the the way the songs were all sort of together in the medley. Just a really unique album. And this album was the last they recorded, so it's the second last that they released. So they're already done the Let It Be sessions, and those of you who've seen the Let It Be documentary saw how that went and how that came to Let It Be, which we'll be doing next. But just after they finished that, you know, with the problems that they had with Let It Be sessions, they decided to go back in Abbey Road Studios and, you know, it's kind of just give it one more crack the way it sort of used to be. And I think this, correct me if I'm wrong, Ross, a bit more of a collaborative album, more so than the Wide album.
Yeah, definitely.
So really back to the way they used to do things, and you know, the proof is in the pudding. They had some cracking songs on this, and George really just came into his own with two of the biggest hits they probably had. Here Comes the Sun and Something, which is probably my favourite Beatles song, I think it was. I was thrilled to cross the crossing probably about 5 years ago, as I think you have, and quite a few of the other people do. Went for a tour through, well, didn't go through a tour through Abbey Road, but certainly, you know, you could see the studios and go to the gift shop and stuff like that. So it's just kind of special, you know, like a hallowed sort of place to be, really. Again, it's massive hit. Number 5 album of all time, which, you know, it goes to show how good it is. We're going to do a song that we have actually done before, but it's not in books. We did it ages ago in some kind of special
Yeah, I can't remember
night.
what the night was.
Yeah, but anyway, went down a cut. We're going to do Come Together, very first song off Abbey Road, John Lennon's song. And that's in your handouts. And we're going to be trying to do this. We'll be doing the riff. Join in the riff if you want to. Otherwise, strum those D minors.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Song, isn't it? Really funky. Come Together. 1 and 1 and 1 is 3. That was a clue that Paul was dead. Because there was only 3. There you go.
I want to know, with Toe Jam football and Coca-Cola and shoeshine, what drug were they on at that particular time?
I can probably tell you.
Quite a mixture of drugs, I think. probably aspirin, Bex,
A bit more
cough
than
medicine,
aspirin.
cough medicine.
Hey, Macca mentioned that this album was recorded after the Get Back sessions. They happened in January, this happened in September. The Beatles weren't interested in it anymore. But EMI, the machinery, the money making, they thought, hang on, we got a box of tapes there. They must be worth something. Let's bring in Phil Spector and see what he can do with those tapes. Phil Spector came in, worked his magic in inverted commas, and resulting the album not called Get Back, but called Let It Be, because of the standout track that Phil Spector discovered. And so this was a great album, released after Abbey Road, but recorded 6 months previously. It stands as a great album. It was going to be their concept here, where there would be no overdubs. And yet, the last time the 3 or 4 Beatles were together was in early 1970, doing overdubs on this very album.
We'll have Phil Spector involved, sort of paid to that, didn't it?
Yeah. So, and in the end, they were going to present this and go off and play the new songs they had rehearsed in the Himalayas, just as the sun came up over the peak, or go on a ship somewhere.
How'd that plan work out, Ross?
Yeah, well, in the end, we just said, sod it, let's go up to the roof and do it there.
I
So on
wouldn't-
a cold...
I wouldn't go.
Yeah, that's right, Ringo wouldn't go. On a cold January morning, we went up to the roof.
And George wasn't keen either.
So from that album, we're going to do Let It Be, the title track. And, you know, we were fighting a lot during this album. So we brought in a guy called Billy Preston. Billy Preston on keyboard. Now, he's actually wearing George's clothes today, but that's Billy Preston. G'day, Billy. Here we go. Take it, Billy. F down to C, C, G, A minor, F. Okay, that was the end of the magical album history of the Beatles. What we also have to play tonight is not three. It was a three-way tie for our most popular Beatles song. But the third one is Hey Jude, and we won't play that again tonight because we played that last week. And we are a little bit pressed for time. So we've got two absolute gems that are being handed out right now. We've got on equal votes a John song and a Paul song.
Right.
Tell us about the John song, Macca.
I'll tell you about the John song. It came from, I don't know what album it came from, so Robert Soul, I should know that. Really nice song. I remember playing this song in a talent contest on the organ when I was about 12. Really brilliant Lennon song, In My Life, and had quite a few votes from it.
And piggybacking with that one, absolutely equal points, is a McCartney classic that we referred to earlier from the Help album, Yesterday. And that was what I think the first song that consisted just of Paul without any of the other Beatles playing on that track. And that was in 1965, so all the time they were looking for new directions and new things to trial. And I've sat in the very spot where Paul recorded that song, at the bottom of the stairs in Abbey Road studio. Okay, the same chairs that he sat in are still there, and I'm pretty sure I sat in the one he sat in. Yeah, well. Now this first song of, are you going to introduce it?
In My Life, I think I already have.
You have?
Off the Robert Soul album, just really beautiful song.
Okay, you have, sorry. All right, let's kick it off. This one's got that lovely, iconic riff. You'll know it as soon as you hear it. 1, 2, In My Life. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
There are places I'll remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one who compares with you. And these
Hey, what a classic that was. Is it any wonder that we voted that as our #1 Beatles song? But right hand in hand with that one is the Macca Jam Yesterday. This song from the Help album stands as the most recorded song in history. It's in the Guinness Book of Records, most versions of this song. Some of them are real dogs, by the way, but the Beatles, not so. Here
The
we
Billy
go.
Ray Cyrus one was pretty bad.
Billy Ray Cyrus was almost as good. Oh, no.
And this is being recorded tonight, so one more.
One more.
They might have a copyright claim on it.
Who has it over? All right, Paulie, let's kick this one off. Let's do a really nice tender one here. Hey, it's got those chords like, what, sway? Yeah, you know,
Sus. Some sus
it's a bit
chords.
sus, isn't it? Yeah. Don't play sway, and viewers at home, don't pick up the music for sway. Here we go. Yesterday. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yesterday,
All my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something's wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday.
hey, thank you for being part of our Beatles show. It is so fantastic to have you here, so fantastic to have so much colour in the house, so many Beatle characters, so many onesies and so much Yokos and Beatles and Sgt. Pepper and 60s is alive and well, that's all I can say. I hope you can stay and have a cuppa and get set for next. Oh, what, we forgot to draw the prizes. Oh my
What's the
God.
prizes?
We have 3 prizes. You can
Don't move yet.
collect them after as we head for supper.
Ross, are we doing Hey Jude?
No.
We do it.
And Helen is going to draw the first prize. They're all the same, but it doesn't matter. There's 3 prizes. Okay, so who have we got there? Oh, it's controversial. It's Vicky. Charlie is going to draw the next one.
Susie!
And Peter is going to draw the 3rd one. And Daniel. Love Her and
I've heard Daniel's travelling tonight on the plane, Ross.
Ross,
I heard
Ross,
Daniel's travelling tonight on the plane.
Ross,
He's on
can
the
you
plane.
draw another one out for me? That's all right.
Well, how about you draw it,
All right.
Vicky? That's very nice of you, Vicky.
Can you draw me out?
Yeah.
Can I have you guys?
She's had a change of heart. She told me to rig her.
No, that was Susie.
Yeah. Susie, get up again.
Susie's got two, has she? Different Susie.
Who ordered this?
Shirley.
Where's Shirley?
Shirley, you can't
Shirley,
be
you
serious.
can't be serious.
I think she's with Daniel travelling tonight on the plane, maybe.
Anyway.
Alright, thank you. And see you next term. Term 4. We'll put your request for the week 1 for term 4 down the front, up the back, and have a nice hot mile. We're already in our jammies, so we're set to go. Thanks a lot.
Enjoy your supper.